Coming up next, I'll give you some tips for starting a job when it's remote. I'll tell you 3 questions that you need to help you set your goals. We'll take your calls and your chats, and it starts right now. I'm coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville, and you're joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do that, and how you can get there. It's all about you because you were created to fill a unique role in your work. You were created to contribute. So that means that no matter how you feel about yourself right now, I can tell you this, you are tremendously valuable because somebody out there needs you to be you, to give to them what maybe only you can give. And so we're talking about work that matters. We're talking about meaningful work. We're talking about living the dream. And this is an important conversation now more than ever. 844-747-2577. Some of you are re-entering the marketplace, the most competitive time ever, maybe, with so many people out of work. Are you doubtful? Are you fearful? Are you confused? You got some options, need to figure out which option is the best? Call today. That's why we do the show. You're one phone call away from talking to me right now. Madison, the associate producer, is standing by. If you're nervous, she'll get you all set up. We're going to have fun today. All right? 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. Coming up in just a few minutes, the announcement that Joe has not let me make all week. I get to make it, and I'm, as you can tell, a little excited. I got to drop it down. I got to drop it down a little bit. I got a little excited. I got to drop it down. Big news. And some of you may already know what it is. I'll tell you about it in just a few moments. Starting a new job remotely. This is the reality that many of you face right now. You got a new job, or you're about ready to get a new job, or you're going to get a new job, and you're not going to enter into maybe the traditional workplace environment. You're going to be working remotely. Great article from Harvard Business Review. I want to just touch on a couple tips in this article. First, schedule a lot of brief check-ins with your colleagues. This is really, really good here. You know, if you're starting work in a remote situation, think about what you don't know that you're not going to pick up because you're not in the normal rhythm of I'm sitting next to somebody in a cube, or I'm running into people in the hallway or at the water cooler or at the cafeteria, whatever. If you think about it, every company has its own culture. And there's idiosyncrasies and behaviors and unspoken rules and verbiage and language. And so you're not going to pick up on that as quickly if you're not in physical proximity. So a lot of check-ins with colleagues to ask them questions and just get the sense of those things that are kind of below the surface that you need to know. The second thing is rapidly assemble your mentoring team. This is so good. We did a fun post on this on my Instagram page at Ken Coleman a few months ago. We kind of talked, we used the classic television show on NBC, The Office, as an example of the type of people you need to get to know. And one of those characters we talked about is the idea of Phyllis. Somebody's going to be very helpful and really ease you in and kind of that mentor to guide you and be kind to you by telling you things that you need to know and showing you the ropes. So assemble more than one person to help you get going. And then third, ask for help. You know, I've talked about this on the program a lot. The most underutilized, most valuable question in the world that people just don't want to use is this question. Will you help me? Ask for help. Swallow your pride and get over yourself and just say, hey, I'm new. I need help. And if you do that, I'm telling you, people will step up and help you. So this is a new work world that we are in. And you can win even when you're starting in the remote work situation. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. To the phones we go in just a moment. But this is what I am so fired up about. The Ken Coleman Show is launching a brand new live stream event. It's called Get Hired. That's right. New unemployment numbers out today. 36 million people have filed for unemployment. Here's the reality, folks. It's actually higher than that because of the overwhelmed unemployment offices throughout each state. And so we are launching a one-night only event. It's online, so it's live stream. That's the good news. You can watch it in your sweatpants, your hoodie, on a device. You got an internet connection. You can tune in. And we're going to go deep on how to get hired. This is going to be one of the craziest, kind of most competitive environments we've ever seen in the American workplace. And I'm going to go deeper than we go on the show and break down what you need to know and what you need to do to stand out and get hired. It's called Get Hired Live Stream, Thursday, May 21st. So that's next Thursday, May 21st, 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern. And you ready for this? The tickets are $10. Why is this? Because I'm a man of the people. And I just told the team, the lowest ticket price we can possibly justify, that's the number. And they did it. $10. You can not only come for $10, you can buy 5 tickets for friends who you know or family members that you know need to get hired. So what are we waiting on? Let's go. We just launched it. I can tell you the tickets are going bananas and we won't run out. Why? It's a live stream event next Thursday, May 21st, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. You get the tickets at kencoleman.com/events. kencoleman.com/events. Stay tuned. I'm going to be giving these tickets away until next Thursday. And if you need them and you're calling in, you got a chance to get a ticket. But you got to call 844-747-2577. Again, $10 tickets for the Get Hired live stream, kencoleman.com/events. I'm so excited. Going to be doing it from the lobby just outside the glass here. We have a gorgeous, gorgeous atrium. Thank you, Joe. And the big screen, it's going to be wonderful. And I promise you, this is going to give you practical information that will make you stand out, and you are going to get hired. 844-747-2577 is the number. We started off with Terry in Greensboro, North Carolina. Terry, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, it's nice to talk to you today.
Nice to talk to you, Terry. What's going on?
So my problem is with committing long-term to a specific job or field. I have no problem with going after my passions. It's the fact that after I fulfill that passion, or I think I fulfill it, it dissolves and my interests become focused on something else. And I really want to commit to a specific career. And so my question is, how can I stay fulfilled long term and not just short term?
Yeah. The answer is you've got to put yourself in a situation where there's a ladder. So the fact that you're falling off of these careers because you say, Ken, I know how to pursue it. I know what I'm passionate about, but I accomplish some things and then I get bored and then I get distracted. Is that essentially what's happening?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so here's the deal. You won't get bored and you won't get distracted if you are in a corporation, company, or a field where there is a very natural progression to the next step on the ladder. So let's just picture a basic ladder. And so when I start to climb the ladder, I'm in step 1. I start to really get good at it and I move to step 2. Step 3, maybe I master it. And for this analogy, maybe that's where you are. You get to about step 3 and you go, what else is there? And you start looking left and you start looking right and you forget, wait a second, I'm on a ladder. If you're truly on a ladder. Now, my wife and I have those little 2-step and 3-step stools at our house because we're both short. So to get the china off the top cabinet, even yours truly at 5'8", that's where I topped out, I got to use those things. So there's only 3 steps on those, Joe. There's only 3 steps, Terry. So if you are putting yourself in an environment where there really is only 3 steps, that's part of the problem. But the other potential problem is that you're getting distracted because you're getting bored and you're looking left and right instead of going, wait a second, I'm not done climbing. And let me give you an example. Would you say that I'm in my dream job, Terry, what you know about me?
Yes.
Do you think I'm bored?
No.
Mm-hmm. Do you think I'm distracted?
No.
Why? Why am I not bored or distracted? In my current situation, based on what you know, why do you think I'm not bored or distracted?
The way you speak, you get excited about the job every day.
That's right. Why? because I know that there's so many more people to touch and impact. I'm not done. I want to be on 300 radio stations and then 500 radio stations. I want the podcast to keep growing. I want the YouTube show to keep growing. I want 500,000 subscribers. I want millions of people watching the show. I want to write more books, and I want to sell more books. I'm excited about our Get Hired live stream event next Thursday night at 7 Central. Why? Because I want to help as many people as possible learn what I've learned and apply what I've applied and get hired. So, back to you. Same situation. If, in fact, you do know what you're passionate about and know what you want to do, then you've got to put yourself in a position where there are more rungs on the ladder. And then you've also got to make sure that you're mentally in the right state of mind so that you realize, wait a second, just when I get bored, it's not time to quit. It's time to re-up. I need to do new things. My brand manager, Damon Gouch, sitting in the control room today. He and I, listen, he's not going to let me get comfortable. So maybe maybe you need to put some people around you that they're going to say, look, Terry, you're getting comfortable. You shouldn't be comfortable. You got a lot more to do. Now, I just want to know, what is it that you really want to do? You said you know what you're passionate about. What is it? What is it that you want to do in the workplace? Meaning you want to create this result throughout your career. What is that?
I would just love to be happy in the position that I'm in going forward and be able to look forward to what I'm doing every day.
Well, that's nice, but that's part of the problem. If your end all is to be happy, then that, I can tell you right now, that's what has put you in the situation you're in. It's not about happy. It's about, am I fulfilled and am I challenged based on the fulfilling work that I long for? So what would you do tomorrow if you knew you could not fail and you knew you didn't have to commit to it for the next 40 years, but it would be something that's at the time you go, this would be unbelievable if I got to do this kind of work that created this kind of result? What is it?
I would volunteer with homeless people and helping them figure out what they want to do with their lives.
I want to know the why behind that. What from your story has made you long to help homeless people get a fresh start and step into a new reality?
I was in that situation a few years ago, and the people that touched my life helped me get on the right path and get started with my life, or a restart, really.
Yeah. Where were those people? Were they with a church organization? Were they with a charity, a nonprofit, community center?
They were the women that ran the shelter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the question becomes, if that is the overriding drive for you, do you want to do that professionally, or do you want to just succeed professionally and continue to give almost in a volunteer situation, almost like a missionary, if you will, to those people in your community?
The second choice.
Good.
I want to be able to follow my own path and still be able to volunteer and help people.
All right. So what's the industry? What is the industry that you think you would best fit in? What type of work? What's that role in the marketplace that you know, this is where I start now, Ken, but I can grow in this role, make a lot of money that will allow me to continue to give money and my time and have a lot of freedom to help those folks that you just mentioned. What's that role? What has it been?
I would say writing.
What have you been doing? Have you been a writer so far in your career?
I self-published a children's book for my daughter last year.
Okay, but what have you been doing in the marketplace? What's been your most valuable, most successful role in the marketplace so far?
I would say training.
In a training role?
Yep.
Okay, great. So here's the deal. Based on what you just told me, you've got a big picture reason for why you work. It's to be able to give time and money to help homeless and maybe develop some things that maybe one day is a side hustle or a side nonprofit. So it doesn't even have to be a for-profit business. So we've just talked about what's going on. You need to get back into a mindset of, I'm really good at training, corporate training, and I'm going to get in that. And just when I start to get bored, and I know that I'm tempted to get distracted, I'm going to say, what's the next step up? How do I grow as a trainer? And you answer that question and you take on new challenges that involve learning something new and doing something with what you learned. That's the key to you not getting bored. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. Mary Helen is on the line in Portage, Michigan. Mary Helen, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hello.
Hi.
So my question for you is, I know you recommend when you write a cover letter always to find the name of a person to send the letter to. What if the company is it's a recruiting company and there is no recruiter assigned to the job?
Then get fun and creative with the salutation, right? So, the classic is to whom it may be concerned. Is that what you would do if you didn't know the name? How would you start it off?
Well, that or dear sir / madam.
Yeah, you know what I'd do? I'd have some fun with that. Take this as an opportunity to kind of get their attention as to what kind of lady you are and different. So I would say something like, and I'm making this up on the fly, so you can do a much better one, but it would be something like, to the recruiter who my entire future depends upon. That's kind of funny. Like, I'm looking at Nathan, the director. He thinks that's funny. It's tongue-in-cheek. Anybody with half a brain's going to know that you're being fun there. Something like that. If you don't have a name, then let's skip the 95-year-old to whom it may concern. Because I feel like that's how you have to say that phrase. Like, I feel like I should have, like my pinky up and a cup of tea. Just have fun with it. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to look at it and go, well, that's kind of fun. That's a really interesting way of saying it. So I think that's all you can do.
Okay.
Got it?
That's what I was looking. Yep. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Mary Helen, have fun with it. Come up with like 3 or 4 and then get your friends and family involved and come up with the most eye-catching opener that is designed to make somebody chuckle and appreciate you before they've ever read one word. That's what I think you should do there. That's really fun. Never had that question before. But here's the point and why we do everything we do with our resume guide, which is free at kencoleman.com. If you actually go check it out and look at how we lay out the resume, the entire resume design and the way we lay out the headings is designed to make you stand out for the hiring manager who's seen 8.5 billion resumes to go, oh, that's different. I appreciate it. So same thing on the cover letter. If you don't have an actual name, do that. I think that's great. I love that. 844-747-2577 to the chat room we go in a moment. If you're just joining us, big announcement that we made today. The Ken Coleman Show is launching a live stream event entitled Get Hired. The proven plan, that'll get you the job you want. And I'm going to do a deep dive next Thursday night, May 21st, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, coming to you live stream from our global world headquarters, the beautiful atrium here. This event is super cheap, but amazingly valuable. $10 ticket. So you can invite people, heck, buy their ticket and tell them to show up. All you need is an internet connection and a willingness to say, I need some help so that I stand out and get hired in this time. Whatever your situation is, whether you've been laid off or whether you want to switch careers or you're coming into the workforce from college, it's perfect for all of you. For that matter, even the high schooler coming out of high school, wanting to stand out for the summer job. Get hired. It's a live stream event next Thursday night, May 21st, 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern. Where do you get the tickets? KenColeman.com/events. KenColeman.com. Click on events. KenColeman.com/events. $10. Go get it now. All right, to the chat window we go. James writes in, hey, Ken, I'm retiring in about 5 years, and I have never enjoyed my job. Should I switch careers now or just wait to do what I love in retirement? Well, I'd begin the switch now. I'd begin the process. There is no I'm just going to switch. You've got to get clear first. That's stage one. What is it that I want to do? And you're looking at what do I do best? That's your talent. What I love to do most? That's your passion. That's the work itself. You really, really look forward to it. You love it when you're in the middle of it, and you just spend all kinds of time on. Don't want to quit. High emotion, high devotion. That's how you determine the work itself that you love. Then the third piece is the results of your work. All work creates results. What are the results that matter most to you? What do you want to create as a result of your work? That's mission. So when you get clear on that, and you can begin that process right away, you need to get clear on that. So then that leads you to stage 2 of the clear path to meaningful work. And that is get qualified. So I know what I want to do. Do I need to get any additional qualification, or am I already qualified? If I need to get qualifications, then I got to look at how much that's going to cost me based on my financial reality. How long is it going to take? That's where you start. You can start now. So that's what I mean when I say begin the process now. So I don't know that you need to wait, and I wouldn't wait. I'd begin the process now. And so then when you figure out, okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to get qualified. So this gives me a timeline as to when I'm going to actually be able to look for gigs. Then you see where you stand with the retirement. And I think it'll all make a lot of sense as to what you should do and when you should do it. Dianne writes in, hey, I'm over 50. I have no college degree. Employment history is in infomercial buying. How do I figure out my new career change? Well, Dianne, I just described it for James. I'm not going to re-describe it. But you have got to go through the process of getting clear. What do you do best? What kind of work do you really love to do? And what does that work create? What result really connects with your heart? And I would look to the clues from your career. Okay? From infomercial buying. What made you good at it? Was there a part of infomercial buying that you enjoyed? When you can extrapolate those facts there, those are going to give you clues as to filling out the list that I just gave you. So that is the process right there. So go for it. 844-747-2577. One more question in the chat room. Gerardo writes in, how would one deal with a toxic leader that might affect a promotion opportunity when coming back to the facility? How would I hash things out? Very, very carefully and very, very respectfully, because you've already identified the risk here is if you step on that leader's toes that you already believe is toxic. So we've already got, again, assuming that you're absolutely correct, we've already got a situation where it's not healthy. So it's very difficult to address somebody who's not healthy. Very difficult. Because they're going to be insecure, defensive, maybe borderline offended. And if they're not healthy, they're probably a reactionary person. So you're already playing with dynamite. So I think you got to be really, really careful. And I think what I would do in this situation is address the issues that the toxicity is causing for you. Address them from your point of view to say, hey, I've experienced this. I want to make sure that I'm not reading it wrong. I want to make sure that I'm not being sensitive. And you're my leader, and don't put it on them. But there are inevitably some realities that are coming from the result of them being toxic. So what if you can focus on the things that are affecting you here and try to separate them from that person? That's your best chance of getting them to be aware and hopefully address the issue. But understand, the only way you're going to get some breakthrough here is if you don't put them on the defensive and you just make it about the results of some things that you'd love to get change on, and almost, if you can, keep them separate from it and just go, how can you help me figure this out? And see if we can get them to solve their problem and almost take credit for it. And even if they realize it and they're insecure about it, if you don't make it about them, I think it's your best shot. But understand, be very, very honest with you. I'd have a backup plan because a toxic person rarely gets confronted, even in the best way possible, which I did my best to describe. They rarely get confronted like that and go, oh, I am so thankful that you laid that out the way you did. I think that maybe I'm toxic and I'm going to have to get healthy. Will you forgive me for what I've done? While I'm getting healthy, let's see if we can work through all the things that need to change in the workplace that will alleviate all of the toxicity and the negative results of my toxicity. Everybody's laughing at me in the control room as I walk through that because that's just rarely happens. But go for it, but have a backup plan. 844-747-2577 is the phone number. Real quick, I want to go through some teaching here that has really served me well throughout my journey. When I can, I want to not give you theory. In fact, now that I think about it, I rarely give you folks any theory. If it is, it's from somebody else based on their research and their experience. So what I'm about to give you really helped me in the early days as I was in the day job, running my company, small company with just my wife and I was trying to get some early momentum to overcome the fear and doubt I had about, could I actually make it in broadcasting starting at 31? So here are 3 questions that will help you set some goals that will get you some forward motion. Number 1, where am I now? Just take assessment. Where am I now as it relates to my dream? So again, for me, the example was, hey, I wanted to be a national broadcaster. Where am I now? I'm on the patio in some flip-flops with some sun tea, and I haven't done a whole lot of things. I've done some small broadcasting. It's been really small. Where am I? Just get a real honest assessment of where you are. You know, you can't say, hey, I want to go climb this mountain, or I want to go to this destination in the United States, and then map a course if you don't know where you actually are. You have to map the course from where you are. It's really, really, really important to get sober on, hey, this is where I actually am. Let's get real honest. Number 2 question, where do I want to be? Again, this is simple stuff, but it gets us outside of our head and all the voices, and it gets us clear. Where do I want to be? Okay, I want to be here. This is where I want to be. Number 3, what do I need to do to get there? Last night, I was watching a program on Disney Plus about this guy, and I forgot his name, but he's like the most prolific free solo climber. Now, I didn't know what free solo climbing was until about a year or 2 ago, but I'm watching this documentary with my middle son, Chase, last night, and I was just absolutely enthralled, Joe. Because this kid, and he's like in his early 20s or mid 20s, something like this, and he's climbing this El Capitan is what they call it in Yosemite National Park. It's like the ultimate rock. And he's going to climb this thing solo, like with no rope is what that means. No safety rope, just him hanging on the side of a mountain. No, it's not even a mountain. A mountain would imply some type of like vertical angle. This is just straight up wall. He's going to climb this thing. And so I'm watching this guy go through the process. And it's the scariest one. He's done a ton of big time things. And this is the scariest thing he's ever done. And I'm listening to these questions right now. Where am I now? Where do I want to be? What do I need to do to get there? And this last question came alive in this documentary last night. So he finds another friend who's willing to climb this thing with ropes. He's a world-class climber himself. And he says, hey, will you climb this with me so that I've got 2 sets of eyes and 2 different experiences on this thing? And they climb it with ropes to try to come up with the route up El Capitan that he's going to take free solo. And so this is the whole point. What do I need to get there? At some point, he said, you know what? I've climbed all these mountains. I've done this. I've done this. I've done this. I'm bored. So the first question is, where am I now? He's like, hey, I need a new challenge. Number 2 question, where do I want to be? I want to climb El Capitan free solo because nobody's ever done it. It's the deal. Number 3 question, what do I need to get there? I got to prepare. I'm going to have to climb this thing, and I'm going to have to be painstaking in mapping out what the possible route will be. Here's my point. No matter what your goal is, climbing El Capitan or becoming a lawyer and doing the kind of law that your whole life you thought about, I want to advocate for these people. You fill in the blank. When it's early on, it seems so intimidating, like me standing at the base of El Capitan going, how in the world am I going to scale this thing? You got to break it down. And so when you begin to really dive in, and that third question, what do I need to do to get there? All of a sudden, it becomes less intimidating when you see all the things you got to do. Now, is it still going to be intimidating? Yes, a lot of work. A lot of work. But at least I know what I've got to tackle. And knowing gives you the confidence to be able to tackle one goal, one milestone at a time. 844-747-2577 is the number. The name of the climber is Alex Honnold. Thank you, Madison. Gotta love that. And by the way, I got tired. Started doing the head bob. You know, the dad head bob. You know, it was about 9:30. And I was really into this thing to where I had some sweaty palms early on in this deal for this guy. And then I got a little bit more comfortable. Got to be about 9:30 and I'm doing the old head bob. And then Chase, you know, he's 12. He calls me out. He's like, Dad, I probably was doing a little snort and snore, you know, one of those deals. And he says to me, hey, Dad, you're sleeping. And I go, oh, man, you're right. And I said, hey, buddy, can we pause this and pick this up another night? Because I actually really am into this, but I'm just tired. Got up early to do some media yesterday morning. Got up at 5 a.m. and so I was just whooped. So I know there's going to be more teaching out of this documentary. So don't anybody send me emails or social media posts. I don't know how it ends. I hope the guy makes it. I don't know. Scary stuff. Really scary stuff. I got a weird look in the control room. Now I'm like, I got to focus, man. I got to focus. Oh, it's so good. By the way, one little note on this, because Damon, my brand manager, challenged me on this the other day, and I think it's a good idea. And I had a good friend also challenge me. I think I need to do a significant mountain climb. Nothing that I can die from. I know Madison's looking at me like, are you for real, dude? Yeah, I'm going to tell you why. I don't want to do something that I could die. Discomfort and some fun injuries and some stories that I can tell you folks would be great. But I think Damon and I need to do at least a significant hike. No, Kilimanjaro it's nuts. Yeah, I see. I've already gotten myself into a problem. I'm just thinking a significant hike so that I can pull some more climbing analogies for you folks. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you have got a big career vision on your mind, I think it would do you well to go climb. I really do. And as you're doing that, why are you shaking your head? You should do the climb with us. Madison's not interested. Well, she'll do a spin class till the cows come home. But no climbing. All right. Anyway, I think you should do a climb because I think the lessons you'll learn from just doing a climb will really help you in your journey. I believe that so much. All right, 844-747-2577 to St. Paul, Minnesota we go. Tammy is there. Tammy, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet. How can I help?
So my dilemma is I've been working for a company for 3 years. I'm a dental assistant, okay. And I was furloughed because of the coronavirus. And to backtrack, long before the furlough, I've had issues. You know, I actually thought about calling in over a year ago. Mm-hmm. I have a long commute. I don't love my job, but it has really, really good benefits. Yep. And I was the benefit holder. So anyway, long story short, my husband has the ability. He owns his own business. He always has. But he, since I've been furloughed, has been doing his business full time. So now we're kind of just thinking maybe we just switch to him working full time doing his business, but now I feel, because now I'm faced with going back to work next week. And that the other side note is I'm a little bit scared because I'm in a high risk category, and I was quite frankly surprised to be going back so quickly, and because the governor lifted the orders, yada yada. So now I have this fear, plus I don't love my job, but I feel a little like morally compromised, if you will, like having collected unemployment for 6 weeks or whatever it is, and now I'm like, okay, I'm not going to come back, actually.
Gotcha. All right, let me ask you this. Do you two need your income?
No, that's the thing. And the other side note, too, is we are in the process of fostering to adopt a baby.
Oh, wow.
Who's living with us.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of and we're moving, and...
Okay, can I just tell you?
A lot of things.
Do you want did you call about a specific question, or do you want my opinion?
I think I more want your opinion and just maybe a little bit of guidance. So.
Yeah, great news, because I've already formed one based on everything we just found out. I don't think you should go back.
Okay.
You got too much going on. You got you have your own fear because you've got some health compromised stuff where corona's potentially a way bigger deal for you than it is for me. Okay. And so that fear is not good. And I think that's a factor. I think that you are fostering a baby right now, and then you want to adopt the baby. So that is a massive, massive deal there. Okay. Lots of your time, emotion, and all that kind of stuff. The fact that your hubs has been able to pivot to full-time work running his business, and you guys don't need your income, that's the cherry on top of the whipped cream for me.
Yeah.
I just would never tell you, if you were my wife or you were my sister or you were my friend, I would never tell you to go back right now. There's no reason. It's just going to put you in a negative place. Quite frankly, a place that you don't need to be in. It'd be one thing if I said, you know what, you have to have the income, so buck up. You know what? Bite your lip, be a big girl. I don't think that's necessary. So I'm just wondering, is there anything you can do for him in his business?
And that's exactly what he was thinking, because I said, I'm coming up with ideas. Oh, maybe I can do this side hustle. Maybe I can do this. And he's like, well, how about you just help me manage my business better?
I love that. Do you guys get along? You guys think you'll get along well in that environment?
Yeah.
But it allows you to be home with baby.
Yeah.
I'm so excited right now. I'm so excited. I don't know if you're watching me right now, but I'm legitimately excited for you, because this is a breakthrough, Tammy. You get to leave a job, or excuse me, you just get to cut ties. You're not going back.
Yeah.
And by the way, that eliminates the unemployment moral dilemma you're dealing with too. So there's a burden coming off of you. Got 2 burdens dropping. 3. Yeah. The fear of corona because of your health situation, the fear, the angst and the yuck of just going and doing a job that you haven't enjoyed doing for a very long time, if ever. And then the third piece is the weight of this moral dilemma of continuing to take unemployment's coming off. I imagine you might float away today if we don't put some anchors on you. You're free. Yep. Do you feel it?
I do.
Yeah, and I love that you're going to help grow your hubs business, which is your business too. You're investing. You're investing in you and him and this new baby. Do you have biological children?
I do. Yep, we have 2 biologicals, a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and then the baby will be 1 in a couple weeks.
Well, I don't talk about it much on this program, and I never will, because I don't. 1, we're private about it, and 2, I don't want it to ever come across like Stacy and I are great human beings. But we adopted 2 boys from birth, and I want to say welcome to the club, because it's one of the greatest blessings in the world. We don't end up blessing the kids near as much as they bless us, and so I would just tell you on a personal note, I love what you're doing. It takes a special part of the heart to take on the unknowns that are involved with adoption, certainly out of foster care as well. And I applaud you and your husband, and I'm so excited about this exciting time and this blessing, and welcome to the club.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Tammy is free. Oh, doesn't that feel good? I got goosebumps all over me. She just said, you know what? I'm taking this burden, and I'm taking this burden, and I'm taking this burden, and I'm just throwing it off. Whew. That's what it's about. Unfortunately, my time is up. But before I let you go, you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.